living rent-free in your heads again, huh? I mean, if you're gonna spend your days obsessing over me, you might as well start calling me something respectable. Maybe Daddy Shizzy, or better yet, Papa Nut. Who's the grown-up here? Alright, it's me. Let's go. Call me Daddy, yeah, that's who I am. Running your mind's like a master plan. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, take your pick. I'm rolling in your thoughts while you still act sick. Call me Daddy, it's what you mean. Why you chase the crooks and I take the lead? Living rent-free, that's my name. Go ahead, say it, put some respect on the name. Man, I'm too old, well here's a surprise. I'm the one with the brains while you're stuck with the lies. You act like you're experts, but here's the reality. I'm the one controlling your mental reality. So while you're out there trying to throw shade, I'm sipping coffee and you're feeling betrayed. You're mad, I got the spotlight, now it's my time. So why not call me Daddy or Papa with a rhyme? I'm the landlord and you're just the tenants, stuck in your headspace with no insight, no repentance. Call me Daddy, you know it's true. You'd be lost without me, stuck in the glue. Call me Daddy, I'm holding your mind while you're scrambling, trying to find what's behind. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, don't you see? You're living in my world now, I'm a VIP. Call me Daddy, just let it be. While you're trying to figure out your own identity. Oh, I see you're confused, trying to get it right, spinning your wheels while I'm out of sight. You think you've got it figured, but you got it all wrong. I've been running your minds all along. But sure, keep pretending you don't care. Keep saying you're done, but I'm still in the air. You got no choice but to bow to my name. Daddy Shizzy is here to own the game. You say you don't watch, but you're obsessed. Every word I say puts you to the test. Call me Daddy, Papa Nut, you know you should. Because I've been living rent-free, and you know it feels good. Stuck with Daddy for life. I'm Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, owning your headspace, and there's no escape. Good luck with that.
You all are doing well. Damn. So good. Howdy, cheers, Clink. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. I've been going over like all kinds of court documents over the past like 12 hours. It has been crazy, crazy kind of stuff going on. Hey, Tammy, how you doing? Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Man. Oh, man. Oh, man. So I actually reached out to Lauren and was just like, what in the hell is going on? Because I mean, the other night I pulled up the documents. I'm just like, I pulled up his transcript and nowhere in that document is anything that she's saying is true. But of course, we have more things that coming out. Ozark Teller, hello, friend. Wanda Perez, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Yeah, we're going to be going over a little bit of the court documents tonight. It should be quite interesting. Oh, it just Dawn is here. Early mug raid. Emma, it is so good to see you. Welcome, welcome. And thank you so much for the $2 super chat. And also super tips is enabled if you want to do something there. Feel free. We're going to have a good time tonight. And I'll let you know why we're having such a good time tonight. I'm going to be gone for a short period of time. And it's not a bad thing. The reason I'm going to be gone is because I'm going to be spending some time with my wife. We're celebrating an anniversary and my birthday that we weren't able to at the time because we were just really damn busy. So we are going to be taking just a little bit of time, just the wife and I. We're going to be relaxing and enjoying just each other because that's what you do. So I won't, no. Yes. Cheers, Clink. Yes, I will be gone until Sunday. So tonight is the last you're going to see me for a short period of time, but Sunday I will be back. I will be fired up and I'm sure there's going to be lots of stuff to talk about Sunday night. Happy birthday, happy anniversary. Thank you, Tammy. It's not really, it's a little bit past, but it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, we're just taking a little bit of time spend with each other. We missed out on it. Yeah, thank you very much, Ozar. No, it's a good thing. So the wife and I said, hey, we need to set something up, and so we did. I think we're going on what, 18 years now, something like that. That's no excuse. Oh, Wes, now if I do get some free time where the wife is just like, I'm gonna sleep and rest, then I may fire up a stream from an unknown location. You never know. You never know. But no, I do plan on focusing my attention on my wife, and just have a next Friday's your birthday. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I will keep an eye out for that. I'm working on a new birthday song. The other one just seems to be very slow and calming, and I want something that's exciting. Shizzy's not responsible for any damage as a result. That's true. That is very true. That's very true, G. Levy. Oh man. I spent time with my dear wife. 18 years is something to celebrate. Well, I mean, we've known each other for over 20 years, so that's a good thing. So we enjoy each other. She doesn't enjoy that I do YouTube, but whatever. It's one of those things. Mary here, it's Friday is your 70th. Well, congratulations. Man, that's 70 years around the sun. Mm, 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 mm. They say it's like fine wine. Got to drink it in, enjoy it. Make it enjoyable, memorable, and most of all, have fun. That is the plan. That is the plan, D. How you doing, man? Your interview was absolutely wonderful. Big shout out to D Spills the Tea. Hit it really spot on there. And there's you know, I think about this, and you realize with these people that there is more. There is more she wouldn't have to know. Yeah, she would have to know. She sees the time that I spend on doing research and stuff, and she's like, "Hey, it is a glorious thing to be, doing this YouTube stuff, and I get to spend time hanging out with all you fine folks. Hey, Deb, how you doing? Good to see you, Deb, in Michigan. And I don't know. There's something about the YouTubes that I just enjoy doing, and I'll probably be doing it well beyond the time that I probably should. Sort of like Bone Crusher. Every time I see his neck hanging down, I'm just like, oh man, man. It's so good to see you. Actually made it to a live tonight. Hey, how you doing, Grandkids Taxi? It is good to see you. I'm glad that you could make it to a live. No, it is a wonderful thing to be able to spend time, away from the YouTubes, away from the craziness stuff that's going on. I had somebody that sent me, really snarky email today, and I was just like, I was like, should I read that? Nah, we'll hit it at some other time. And they know who they are, but they have this idea that they were really upset. They were really upset about where the placement of the Martin house went. And I was like, "Uh, you realize that there's 70 acres right there. That it's got a clean shot, that everything's beautiful. And it also is more than just that. It's pointing out craziness that the whole anti-Hales group has perpetrated, and all in just raising a few dollars. And it's like, good evening, Mr. Whatever. Hey, Darren, how you doing? Yep, yep. I got that one from Nick Regatta. He was just like, oh, the Shizzywhiz whatever, he doesn't know anything. But no, it's an insane idea that they're sitting there going, oh well, it looks like Jeremy's just using this for humor. I was like, yeah, absolutely, because it is humor. It's funny whenever people have scammed so much money. And we're not talking about just, oh, a couple $100 here that people are like, oh well, sucks to be me. No, we're talking about people's lives were affected in this. And they scammed people out of hundreds of thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars, all to say that there was a memorial that was going to go up. Oh, we're not going to put it up right now. It's like, that was why we pointed that out. Every single penny that you guys raised for that went to that birdhouse, because once I raised enough for it, it was it. I sure as shit would use it for humor. Yeah, I mean, it was put in a location, and if you get the full scope of what that looks like in that spot, all you have to do is just go watch Travis. You can see where they get that all set up and they get it looking nice and it's all clean. He cleans up the area, he places everything. They come in and Mr. Coop had his well over there, and of course they got the birdhouse, they got Tug and Megan, they have the big hand. I mean, that is awesome. And it looks like a place that you'd want to go and you'd want to think, ponder, and go, what could have been? What could have been something great they just squandered away? Probably, because, it is cold in Florida right now, and, it is snowing from what I hear. These idiots think that it's just, oh, no, you guys are using this for content. Thank God Shizzy's here. Finally, some intelligent conversation. Where? I think you guys are talking over my head. There's no intelligent conversation here. I have no intelligence whatsoever. I'm an idiot with a microphone. That's all that I do. Oh man. Yeah. Hey, Libby, just on, I'm hoping that Dawn's shoulder's feeling better. I don't know which one it is. Could be either which one. Could be both of them. I told her not to play tackle football with you, but she doesn't ever listen. I think it looks beautiful too, Deb. I mean, I think it is absolutely gorgeous. They came in, they cleaned up a little area and made it look really nice. And I'm quite impressed with it. You've been together since 1986. That was the year that I went in the military. I remember the day specifically because in 1985 I shattered my left leg, and I got hit by a car, and I had to go in and have a cast put on. I kept telling them no plates, no screws, because military won't let you in with plates and screws in your leg. But I ended up managing to get that all put back together. I'm like half bionic man. It's funny whenever I go through one of those metal detectors, because the calcium buildup in that leg, they're just like, what the hell? Yeah, I think that the memorial is that could have been, could have been done in a short period of time. It would have been really easy to put something out there that looked really nice, but they never did. They raised hundreds of thousands of dollars and never placed what they said they were going to do, never finished the barn, never finished the fencing. They only did what they thought would satisfy the need, but that's sort of how they are. They satisfy the need and then they move on. Hey, Angela, quite good to see you. I'm still in the hospital lurking. Got trouble from the nurse at 3 and 1, ran across a short of you breaking Yamaha. Oh yeah, that was fun. We had a good time, Angela. We had a good time with that. It was an absolute blast. January 24th, 1981. 81, I would have been a little bit younger. I would have got myself in all kinds of trouble going to the military at that point in time. But yeah, I ended up getting out right before the first Gulf War. We like to call it the CNN war, because whenever you have CNN on the ground before, the soldiers are there, quite interesting. But yeah, my unit was on standby, and I reached out to them to find out what was going on. They said, "Well, we're on standby. We'll give you 24 hours to get here. If the call comes in that we are going to be deployed, you'll have 24 hours to get here." So I managed to not have to go or anything. I ended up staying out in California for a little while longer, and then met my destiny by going back on tour again, and ended up here in Georgia. Crazy stuff, isn't it? Bet they finished off the fine line. They probably did. Angela needs a wrench back, Shizzy. Oh, I removed a whole bunch of wrenches all across the board. I'm keeping Live from Baghdad. Yeah, yeah, that's about right. No, it wasn't Baghdad, was it? I think it was, it was Kuwait, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was whenever Saddam came in and basically started burning the oil fields. Woo-hoo. But crazy stuff. It's funny because at that point in time, there were people out there that were protesting the war. And they were really interesting folks. I was just like, I think you missed something here along the way. Maybe it was because I had long hair and they thought I was with them or something. I was like, no, I mean, I'll cut my hair back off to go serve my country. I mean, that's what I signed up for. That's what the movie was called. It might have been. No, you're talking about CNN. Yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy kind of crazy time in life. But I'm glad it never turned into anything more than what it was. But anyhow, let's get into some of these crazy documents. Good evening. Have a blissful dreams, hugs, and love. Well, thank you very much, Orty. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was, I remember that. I thought I dreamt that. Could be. Could be. It was so short-lived. I mean, within 72 hours, everything was over. It's a little bit like Venezuela. Just sort of happened and then was done. Crazy stuff. Well, let's get into a little bit of these court documents. And so this came in from Teresa Bender, Chapter 7 trustee of the bankruptcy estate of the above named debtors, applies to the court for entry of order appointing Teresa M. Bender. Gives the documents right there. Duly qualified, appointed, is now acting as the trustee in the reference case. The trustee wishes to employ the law firm of herself. The trustee has selected Teresa Bender because its attorneys are experienced in matters of character and type of the above referenced case, and the trustees believe that Teresa M. Bender is well qualified to represent the trustee in this proceeding. This is basically just saying that, Wolfgang, good to see you. Oh, I love the bacon. That's good stuff. Hey, Suzanne, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good day, everyone. Marshalling assets consists, this is a professional service to be rendered by legal counsel for the trustee, or general representation of the trustee in legal matters before this and other tribunals. Marshalling assets consisting of personal real property of the bankruptcy case and evaluating transfers of property of the bankruptcy case. Evaluating secured liens and the validity thereof as related to bankruptcy case and estate property. dealing with the sale of property of the bankruptcy, estate transfers, closing documents, appropriate pleadings and orders. And if you don't know this, this actually is quite a bit of work, because whenever you're doing this kind of work, there's a lot involved in that, because you're making sure Mug Raid, welcome, Mug and Tug, welcome. There is a lot involved in doing an estate bankruptcy. My wife's father passed away, and I mean, just dealing with the estate, although, he didn't have a whole lot of assets, just basically figuring out, okay, this is going to so and so, this is going to so and so. There's a lot involved. If there would have been property involved in that, like whenever her grandmother died, just handling those kind of, an estate means all the assets get bundled in, and then they have to be distributed equally. And so doing this, there's a lot of work involved. Evaluating if appropriate, challenge claims of exemption, if any, evaluating and if appropriate, prosecuting adversary action, including revocation of debtor's discharge. So what they're talking about is basically, if somebody comes in and says, no, this is mine, then they have to basically prosecute that, or hear the case and bring it up before the court, deal with that kind of stuff and say, well, here's why it's not yours, because there was a lien holder that owned this car, for example. Preparing, drafting, filing pleadings, motions, and other legal documents on behalf of the trustee. Otherwise, to undertake all legal matters for the trustee, including litigation, in case somebody decides to dispute it. Teresa Bender, PA, under general retainer because of nature and extent of legal services required by the bankruptcy estate. This case requires the services of an attorney to file legal papers. True. Represent the trustee in prosecution and defense of those legal pleadings. So if the trustee says, hey, X, Y, and Z is why it's happening, and they're basically saying they'll represent themselves in this kind of thing. Supervision of court-approved special counsels and more legal services specified above will be provided by the shareholder, Teresa Bender, at the rate of $4.50 an hour, which is reasonable in bankruptcy. Some bankruptcy attorneys will charge up to $650 or more per hour. Legal assistance at the rate of $125 an hour, which is reasonable, but especially, I mean, I think here in Georgia, it's like, it can run close to 200 per hour. And so whenever people see these kinds of things, welcome, Kiwi Crypt Keeper, good to see you. Whenever people see these kinds of amounts, they go, oh my God, $125 an hour. They're actually paying their employees quite less than that, but they're billing them out. I mean, legal assistants can bill out close to, to sometimes $300 an hour, depending on the kind of services that they're performing. So $125 an hour just happens to be what's typical in the state of Florida. And clerks at the rate of $95 an hour. That would be somebody that's putting in all the information. Teresa M. Bender, PA, represents no interest adverse to the trustee or to the bankruptcy estate, wherefore trustee of the bankruptcy estate above named, debtor, applies to court for entry of order of appointing as legal counsel. And then she has to basically send all this stuff out. And then there's a declaration, a company application, which is basically saying I have no connections with the debtor, creditors, because it would be really shitty of her if she was like best buds with Lynette, in more ways than one. But as the way she's putting it out here is just like, I don't know this person. They're not related to me. I'm not a debtor in any of her stuff. I'm just handling the legal part of it. So that's basically all that document is. And then, of course, you have the trustee application for employment of counsel for Chapter 7 trustee. Now, by and through her undersigned counsel hereby files this application for authority, 11 USC, to employ counsel for the trustee, which means basically she has her own attorney. Applicant is the Chapter 7 trustee herein and wishes to employ attorney Kevin Forstow. for stuffle, for stuffle. For stuffle, okay, for stuffle, like stuffing a pumpkin pie. And the Osley McCullen law firm is counsel for the Chapter 7 trustee. Professional services to be rendered for which it is desired to retain counsel are to identify viable claims and assets of the estate, to assist in the liquidation of certain estate assets, whether previously disclosed by the debtor or not. And that's really important right there, because whenever they're talking about if they haven't disclosed anything and they find something, they're basically they're out there to make sure that everything gets pulled in, which really sucks for the fleas, because, well, part of what they were holding, part of what they're holding is money that was supposed to go to that estate, never went to the estate, in my opinion. Now, if they want to sit there and debate it, well, there's a time and a place to do it. And I guess it's going to end up being in the court's eyes, because they're going to have a lot to say. Traveling fools, good to see you, brother. It is going to be in the court's eyes. So the court's going to look at this and say, well, did you raise money? Well, if you did raise money and there's proof of that, then we're going to have to see where all that money went to. And because these idiots were so smart as to not set up a personal trust for those funds until after the fact, they look at it before the fact at the time that this happened. They're going to look at this and they're going to say, hey, sorry, we're going to be digging into all of your filings. We're going to be looking at every single penny that came in, and we are going to make sure that every single penny is accounted for. So if any of that money just all of a sudden, oh, well, I don't know what happened to it. It got sent to an offshore account. Guess what? U.S. trustees will reach into those funds and they will claw all of that back. And if they can't claw it back, that means you end up being responsible for it. Sorry, but you're a dumbass for fucking around with money like that. And or pursue actions to collect, recover, liquidate assets of the estate for distribution to the creditors. So if they sit there and they say, well, that's our money, it was never supposed to go to that. Well, guess what? You get to go to court. You get to explain to a judge how that money is not part of that estate. You get to provide the receipts. All those receipts you keep claiming that you're holding, guess what? You get to show proof of how you're holding those and how the money came in. And meanwhile, they get to pick apart your life. Good job, dumbasses. The counsel has right to withdraw or to decline representation to recover any assets to which the estate may lay claim after conducting their own analysis and advisement to the trustee. So they may say, yeah, there's only $50 there. It would cost more to go after it than it would to do anything. But whenever they know that there's possibly $100,000+ in there, I am pretty sure. Does that mean no Friday with Mo? Yes, there will be no Friday with Mo this morning, or Friday morning. No, there will be no morning with Mo. But thank you very much, Jim. But Mo will still be going on about the same, but okay. So conducting the analysis and advisement to the trustee, the compensation terms of employment are set forth in greater detail. And the engagement agreement attaches to Exhibit A, but generally applies as follows. Fees in this case will be charged a 40% contingency fee, which sounds pretty high, but that's about average. The gross amount of all funds, assets collected, brought into the estate for administration, or the II, the proceeds from the liquidation of assets for the benefit of the estate, whether previously disclosed by the debtor or not. So if they look for it, Confucius say, don't take counsel from a barking walrus. Well, no, you know how to handle a barking walrus. You just throw it a couple of fish and maybe some chicken skins, and it will just jump right in there and just gobble that stuff right up. As a result, in whole or in part of, good to see you, Yummy. And in part of Austin McCullen's efforts, whether by judgment, order, award, settlement, private sale, auction, or the like, the value of the property brought into the bankruptcy estate or liquidated is based upon the gross amount of money recovered, regardless of any prior offers to pay you or prior efforts by you or your representative. Such claims shall be subject to approval by the bankruptcy court. So what they're saying is basically if they bring in a certain amount of money, maybe they bring in you know 50,000 instead of the full amount that's all of a sudden magically disappeared. What they're saying is that they're entitled to 40% of it, but the bankruptcy court could come in and say, I'm sorry, we're cutting your fees down to like 30% or something like that. So they could do that. Um, and they're just basically talking about the gross amount of money recovered regardless. In addition, costs reasonably incurred in connection with such efforts. So if they make it more difficult, which if they try to hide and they try to obfuscate and they try to do any other stuff like that, they're just like, oh no, well we're gonna make you do, and we're gonna make you jump through hoops in getting this information. If they try doing that, well, guess what? It doesn't hurt them at all. What it hurts is Lynette's estate. So if the fleas start going, well, they're not going to get any of my documents, they can't get into it. Well, guess what? The more difficult they make it, the more hard they make it on Lynette. So Lynette, guess what? Not only did they fuck you once, but they're going to fuck you twice, and maybe third time just for a charm. But yeah, you're basically going to have to figure out, because once they start digging into their accounts, and if they make it difficult on them, there's extra charges going to be put on that every single time that they have to pull up a subpoena, every time that they have to go before the court, every time that someone says, oh, you didn't serve me properly. Yeah, bankruptcy ain't going to play around with that shit, and they will just charge it on to the bankruptcy. So it would be wise for them to say, here's all of the shit. But I doubt they're going to do that. But why? Because they're not smart. We've seen this multiple times. They are not the smartest, bag of donuts that fell out of the bagel truck without a reach around. Oh, yeah. A copy of Ashley McMullen's engagement agreement with the trustee, for which the motion is attached to Exhibit A. Kevin Forstoffel, I think that's right, and the attorneys with Ashley McMullen are attorneys authorized to practice before the state, federal bankruptcy courts in the state of Florida and have experience in civil, bankruptcy, and legal matters for which the applicant is seeking assistance in some. Well, Mr. Forstoffel and the attorneys with Ashley McMullen are well qualified to represent applicant. To the best applicant's knowledge, neither Kevin Forstoffel or Ashley, a McMullen law firm represents an interest adverse to the Chapter 7 trustee or to this estate in the matter. So basically, typical legal stuff. And then there's a little more here. Basically, the agreement for legal services as counsel for the Chapter 7 trustee. Dear Miss Bender, on behalf of the firm, thank you for engaging Ashley McMullen to represent you as legal counsel. It is the policy of the firm to require an engagement letter to avoid misunderstandings as to the scope of our representation and the fees to be charged. Now, this letter will confirm the basis for which the firm will provide you legal services. Our client will be you, Miss Teresa M. Bender, in your capacity as Chapter 7 trustee. And basically just goes through a whole bunch of this. Unless previously terminated and you're engaging in the firm, either at the commencement or during the course of our representation, we may express opinions or beliefs concerning the litigation or various courses of action and the results that might be anticipated. Any such statement made by any partner or employee of our firm is intended to be an expression of opinion only. And our engagement will be on a contingency fee basis. The terms, oh, thank you, T42. You are not late. You are right on time. You are absolutely right on time. And I will be using that to take my wife out for dinner. You know it. 40% of the gross amount of funds, assets collected, brought to the estate, and or liquidated for the benefit of the bankruptcy estate, whether previously disclosed, as a result, in whole or part. All costs reasonably incurred directly or retained by it. In connection with such efforts, the value of property brought into the bankruptcy estate liquidated is based on the gross amount of money recovered, regardless of any prior offers to pay you or any prior efforts by you or your representatives. By example of, and they're just giving an example here. Whenever they say 20%, I know it looks funny, but they're just basically showing you how the breakdown would happen. You just basically double this up. So 20 of 200,000 to 40, instead of 40, that would be 80,000. And the cost reimbursement would be, 10,000, and whenever they're talking about costs, if they're saying it incurs 10,000 in cost, it could be that they only incur like $2,000 in cost or 2,500 or whatever. They're just giving a breakdown of how much that actually works out to. And this is just a base example. They're throwing it down. If it was a 20% contingency, it would be 40. You just change these numbers around, change that to 40, it would be 80. Cost reimbursement, say it was 2,500. So it would be, 80,200, 2,500. 82,500 is what it would be. That they're just giving you an idea of how that works out. It is further understood and agreed that all court costs for subpoenas, photographs, experts, depositions, court reporters, transcripts, travel investigations, reports, copying, computerized litigation support, research, videotaping, filming, witness statements, long distance telephone calls, telefacsimile, or basically fax services, and other expenses directly incurred. The second phase of the engagement shall be paid by the law firm and reimbursed out of any recovery after calculation of attorney's fees. You agree that such expenses shall be determined in the sole discretion of our lawyers, which does happen. I've seen it before where they've come back and they said, listen, there's only X amount of dollars left after all the creditors are paid. Are you fine with, uh, pennies on the dollar kind of settlement? They'll basically settle that stuff and not give an argument. They can always cut a little bit off the paralegal's time or something and say, yeah, I can say, we'll cut, X amount there just as long as we get paid a decent amount. They're pretty good with this. Conflicts, no conflicts, and then they sign off on it. Now, there's an affidavit that says they're attorney for the law firm, and they give their address. I'm eligible under bankruptcy code for the employment. To the best of my knowledge, it would just basically give an affidavit of, that they actually exist and they've been doing this for a while. So, I mean, it's a pretty basic piece of documentation, but it makes you wonder how worried. Now they might think that, the fleas might have this idea of, oh, we're going to get out of having to pay anything or do anything in this and not worry about it. But, if they try to be difficult, if they try to cause problems, they're just costing Lynette more money. Maybe that's why they're getting all buddy with her. It's just like, we got to have you down with this, because they're idiots and they would do some shit like that. And of course, they're going to come back and they're going to blame Jeremy for all of this, which Jeremy had nothing to do with her filing for bankruptcy. That was their plan all along. They talked about it. They bragged about it. They were excited to do this. They said, oh, this is going to take care of all of the federal cases. Oh, we've got plans. And oh my gosh, we are going to totally destroy Jeremy. This was their plan. their plan has been to go after a person that's trying to run a business and basically destroy their business. To what ends? I've always asked that. And I think a lot of people should sort of ask that question to themselves. If you're over there supporting these kinds of actions, just realize you're supporting a group of people that have actively looked at ways to destroy a company. Patrick W. says, hey, if a lawyer you hired on contingencies eventually discharged by you, can that lawyer come to you for payment of services performed? Would that lawyer then be a creditor when the bankruptcy is filed? Well, you have to understand that that would be between her as the trustee and that attorney. So it's completely different in that aspect. You're looking at it as thinking that they would be a creditor to Lynette. They don't represent Lynette, so they can't be a creditor to Lynette. They would be a creditor to the law firm, to the person that they signed that document on. It's just like if you say for example, you're an independent contractor working with you're a bricklayer, and this guy builds a house, and he says, I need a bricklayer, I need you to come in and put all these bricks down for me. You're not you couldn't put a building lien on that property. Now you could go after the person that hired you as a subcontractor to build or do all of the bricklaying, and if he didn't pay you, you could go after him. You could tie that into that property, but your main deal is you're trying to get paid by the person that hires you. The person that's hiring you is the trustee. The trustee is hiring this person to come in and represent them. So that way they're making sure that everything that the trustee is doing is on the up and up. So that's where you're looking at it right there. Yeah, Debbie Baker. Yes, you sleep well, Debbie Baker. I hope you're doing well. And most definitely you need to get yourself a little bit of rest. But yeah, I will be Debbie Baker, thank you so much. Debbie Baker sent a $25 super chat through Cash App, and thank you. I do appreciate that. That means a lot. And please do get to feeling better, really. Miss Peanut. Hey, Miss Peanut, how you doing? Hey, Max, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know anything about bankruptcy. Other than if you read what the documents are in a lot of these cases, you can sort of understand a little bit of where the contract portion of it comes in. But I mean, and I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not perfect at this stuff. But then again, I am an idiot. I, chew on crayons and look a little bit silly most of the time. At least I try to. At least I try to. But, and we never went over paint chips little filing in Fed 2. So we're going to shift gears a little bit here. We're going to look at the at Fed 2 for a bit. Now in Fed 2, in case you guys are trying to catch up on this, in Fed 2, you've got multiple people that have been served. You've got a couple of people that are trying to evade service, and they've been very vocal about evading service. Two of those people, one of them would be Paint Chips, the other one would be Stupid Dave, and they're trying to basically, it's like, I have been served, you're not doing this properly. But whenever you leave somebody no other option, and think about this really hard. If you leave somebody no other option except to take, plan Z, the last available way of saying, we've done everything that we could. This person is evading service. They know that this is a court case. They know that what's going on. Yeah, Max, I do have that document. And thank you. Thank you for reminding me to check that today. I appreciate it. Whenever somebody is taking that much time to be basically just like, I'm not going to be served. If I'm not served, then I haven't been served. Well, Paint Chips already knows he's lost. I mean, he threw a Hail Mary out there, just like, oh well, geez, we should dismiss this because Bubba misses me. Whatever. It wants stupid Dave served by using the newspaper on. Yeah, he is. Yeah, stupid Dave has been served, as has Paint Chips. Both those people have been served. And it is, and we're going to go over. Hey, twaddle bomb. Now, as much as we'll go over this document that Randy filed, you have to remember that this is just Randy putting out there in the world exactly what their position is on this and what their attempts have been to follow the rules that the court has put forward. Because, yeah, no, Belitho hasn't said anything yet. But, I mean, generally what will happen in something like this, and let's just use this for example. Say I'm in a court case against Max Labs, and Jay Levy says, I'm going to serve Shizzy in this. And he says, hey, I'm going to send this document out to you. Do you agree, and just waive service so we can get this show on the road? So there's no delays. They have to remember they've been accusing Randy and Jeremy of trying to cause all of these delays the whole time. Well, they're just using this for YouTube content. Who's been using it for YouTube content? It looks like Paint Chips has been using it for content to try to boost up his little substack or some gay thing like that. I don't know. There's something about like they stack up bodies or something like that. I don't know. Hey, Mr. Coop, good to see you. Yeah, he hasn't said anything before Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's pretty true. That's pretty true. Yeah. So so much easier to not behave. We never behave here. But so say for example, there's this lawsuit going on trying to serve me, and I say, ha, you can't serve me. I keep giving you the wrong address and stuff like that. Well, you left me with no choice but to take it to the next step. And the next step is that I have to hire somebody to come and investigate, make sure I've got the right address and the right person. And sure enough, there's only one Paint Chip out there. There's not Paint Chips Jr. on his name. There's not Paint Chip Sr. on his name. Or should I say Little Dick and Big Dick, because he would be Little Dick. And then you've got Big Dick, which would be his dad, which is much bigger. It's just, it's a small difference, but one is bigger than the other, and he's the smaller one of the two. Not by girth, but just length, and it's not his fault. He was just born that way. So he gets into this, I get into this little spat and say, no, you're not going to serve me. No, I'm not going to accept service. And they say, okay, well, we'll hire a process server. The process server comes out, and every time the process server shows up, well, it turns out that this is an abandoned lot somewhere in the middle of Michigan, and nobody lives there. Well, that really isn't, you can't perfect service on that. So you go, well, what's the next step? We know that the guy lives here because this is where all of his mail goes to. So you do what you do is like a skip search, and you figure out, okay, well, this is where they lived. This is where they live. So you start serving all those places. You go and research. You have to pay for somebody to do all of this research. And then, of course, the whole time they're just sitting in their brother's apartment, stroking their meat and making YouTube videos going, ha, you can't serve me. Well, at some point in time, you go, well, we know where the guy is, but he's not answering the door. He's not responding to anything. So what's our next thing that we need to do? So, some places you can do service by process, which would be service by notification. You can do it through the paper. The FUPA covers all. Yeah, well, it doesn't cover, I don't know. Does it have balls or no? No balls or no balls? Yeah, well, I don't know. That's what I wonder. So you're sitting there going, You're going, okay. We've tried perfecting service on this guy. He's avoiding. He doesn't answer his door. He hides behind the plants. We can see him in there, but he doesn't want to answer the door, so we can't do proper service. So, you can't just kick his door down. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a lawsuit document. File it, grab it, take it, go on your way. So they say, okay, what does the state law say? They look in the state law, says, hey, another way that you can do this is by filing a notice of publication. So you have to run it in the paper where they live or where they're claiming they live. Now, Florida isn't like that. Florida has a different process, which you would basically reach out to the Secretary of State, and then you can serve process to them. And they basically put it out and they do all of the footwork outside of handing them the document. Now, what most likely is going to happen, as much as I hate to say this, most likely what's going to happen is the judge is going to have a hearing where Paint Chips will be forced to be there. He will have to sit down and explain why the service wasn't proper. Just filing a document, and the judge, I doubt, is going to do a Zoom hearing because he's seen the kind of shenanigans that have happened in this case already. And he's going to say, what is your deal, dummy? And he's going to be very, very harsh on making sure that this guy understands that, there's a proper way of doing this, and this is an improper way. Now, an improper way of doing service would be to say, hey, I'm going to serve Shizzy in Montana. Shizzy doesn't live in Montana, never claims to have anything tied with Montana, but you decide to serve Shizzy in Montana. And you say, well, we've done everything we can to serve him. The whole time I'm saying, hey, I'm right here in Georgia. And you go, well, I'm going to serve you in Montana because that's where the last place that I know where Shizzy was. Well, that would be improper service. And there's a reason why they do this is so you don't just randomly, name Joe Smith whenever you've got all these, hundreds of thousands of Joe Smiths and hoping that you hit the right one. They want to make sure that you're going for the right person. They know that they've got the right person. This person is evading service. They made it very clear that they're evading service. Heather May, no, I have zero idea who that was. In person, really? Yeah. Hey, Star, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope that you're doing well tonight. If you need a new co-host, you can always come over here because I know Jay Hip doesn't like to treat you nice. There's no snow here. Well, that's good, Lily. That's good. Where I'm going, there will be no snow either. And I will be, like I said, I will be off the air for tonight will be the end for a little bit. I'll be back Sunday night. I'll probably have something new to talk about. And I'm going to be spending a little time with the wife, enjoying a little bit of time, an anniversary / birthday, all sort of combined into one because, well, we didn't do any of that this year because we were so busy with other things. Really busy. I think Chamber is one of the antis. That's okay. They're welcome to be here. They're absolutely welcome to be here. It's okay if Chamber's here. I've got no problems with one of the antis if they're here. They're welcome to hang out and have a wonderful time. So that's absolutely fine. They're welcome to actually sit in and listen, and maybe they will figure out that there's good things, that are coming out of this, and that the people that they've been supporting have been treating them like shit. But hey, if maybe they're into that kind of kink, I don't know. I don't know what their kink is. Their kink could be just like, oh, treat me really badly. I love throwing my money at people that will never give me anything in return for it. As long as they're polite and not rude like he was. Well, I mean, oh, they were starting trouble? Well, it depends on what they were starting. I didn't see anything in there. Looking. No, they seem to I mean, if they want to start trouble, you let them start trouble because we'll have fun with them. Mr. Coop's chat. Hey, let them start trouble. Let them start trouble because they are so fun to mess with. You do not realize whenever they start getting bent out of shape and they start like freaking out. Ooh, it is torture. It is torture. As long as they're polite, not rude like he was. Hey, whenever they, it just depends on what they're saying. How long have I been married? Going on 18 years now. I think. Yeah, something like that. long enough to know that it's been a good run. We've been having a good time. It just feels like yesterday we were walking down the aisle. Well, it really wasn't an aisle, but we were having a good time. He was harassing another chatter. Yeah, don't let him harass another chatter. As long as you just time them out, don't ban them. Just give them a little time out. They'll be fine. All right, let's look at this filing that came in from Randy. Oh yeah, trust me, I handle them all the time, Max. They're pretty easy. They don't want to be messing with me. Well, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it, Debbie Beck. It is a wonderful thing. They can harass you. They try. I had somebody try emailing me a snarky letter because they didn't like the placement of the Martin house. I was just like, you realize they're on 70 acres, that it's fine where it's at. But you're more upset the fact that the bullshit got called out on the fleas. Don't worry, Sam. It's okay, buddy. You'll be just fine. But you've been lied to. You've been misled. No. You young pup, you happy anniversary. Well, thank you, Mr. Coop. I appreciate it. No, it is a good thing. Being married is a wonderful place to be. I hope to be with her until my old bones give out, which probably won't be very long after we retire. But hey, I'm used to it. It's just like that's how it goes. That's just really how it goes. You're just like, yeah, everything's good. And then all of a sudden, well, something's not working right. Why is my knee doing that? Why is my hip doing that? Why does my back feel so bad? Why am I crapping myself? I don't understand. But, for better or for worse, that is sort of where it is. We're a happy couple. What's your anniversary? My anniversary was last year. And we missed it. So we missed anniversary, birthday, and we're just sort of celebrating it all together. That's awesome, Feathercatcher. 50 years in May. Congratulations. And I hope it's really weird. And whenever you talk with people and they're just like, I mean, I've had friends that are just like, I don't know why I'm still with this crazy person, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, I know I'm with my crazy person because she fits my level of crazy. We have a good time. I mean, can't think of any time that we've ever gotten any like really bad arguments, which is awesome. because my family, my parents they would argue about the simplest shit. And I've never really had that problem. Raised voices? Nah. I mean, it's just sort of like, I'm going to go do my thing. You do yours. And then we come back together and we go, let's go do this together. 50th anniversary was in May of 2023. He passed in September that year. Lots of memories. I hate it for your loss there. 50th anniversary in May of 2023. Yeah. And that's the thing. You just get up those memories and enjoy it. I mean, my wife's grandmother, she was impressive because she wouldn't remarry. She was just like, nope. I love this man and he's the only one for me. And she kept that name until the days that she died at 102. She was like, nope, no other guys in my life. He was the one. 45 years in June. That's awesome. 43 years and 24/7 caretaker. Exactly. And that's what it may end up having to be. I've seen it happen before. I had a good friend of mine He was much, much older, but whenever his wife ended up with cerebral palsy, I mean, it was 24/7 caretaking all the time. Another buddy of mine, his wife just had Lou Gehrig's disease. She passed 3 years ago, and he would still take her to every single event that they could go to. I need a special someone. Well, everybody wants to have that, and it doesn't always work out that way, Tammy. And it is unfortunate, you know. 60, never married. Yeah, see, that's how it goes. 60, never married. That's what would keep you together, in your opinion. Hey, everybody has a different life experience. I'm not here throwing shade on anybody. I'm just telling you how mine's been. All right, let's get this bad boy back up here. We've got the motion for expenses incurred in making service and attorney's fees pursuant to Rule 4D of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Now, of course, we go through the Jeremy Hales elephant shootle with the Hales. By and through the undersigned counsel, pursuant to Rule 4D of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, and hereby respectfully move this court to award expenses incurred in making services and attorney's fees against defendant Richard Lithman. In support of this motion, plaintiff states that. Factual background. On June 18th, 2025, they filed their Second Amendment complaint, naming Paint Chips as a defendant. On August 17th, 2025, plaintiff sent a request for a waiver of service to Paint Chips via email to Paint Chips' email address, as you can see, Richard L., and via United States Postal Service priority mail. On the same day, August 17th, Paint Chips responded to the email acknowledging receipt of the waiver request, but explicitly refusing to waive service, stating, "Your purported notice is rejected." Or maybe I should say it more in his voice. "Your purported notice is rejected in all toto," one of my favorite bands, "for all purposes, legal, media, entertainment, and other." Prior to sending the waiver request, plaintiffs had already made numerous unsuccessful attempts to serve Paint Chips at multiple addresses where he was believed to reside, as documented in the affidavits of process servers Elvis Doherty, Sean Loudermilk, and Robert Goldsmith. Between May 9th and August 16th, process servers made at least 11 separate attempts to serve Paint Chips at various addresses in Florida, including his address in Naples with 6 attempts and another address in Naples with 4 attempts. Other addresses identified through the investigation, which would have included, his address in New York and all that. U.S. priority mail sent to Paint Chips at his address in Naples, and they were marked return to sender. Now, there is an exhibit, but we're not going to show that. It's basically just the envelope, the FedEx envelope that was sent in. Now, process server Robert Goldsmith's affidavit, dated August 17th, 2025, concluded that despite diligent efforts and multiple investigative approaches, I was unable to personally serve the defendant based on the totality of evidence, including avoidance behavior and vague statements made publicly by the defendant. I believe the defendant is intentionally evading service. On August 4th, 2025, plaintiffs attempted substitutive service by leaving a copy of the summons and complaint with Paint Chips' stepmother, poor woman, at his address in Ponte Vedra, Florida, upon information and belief that Paint Chips' registered motor vehicle is using that address. So if he doesn't live there, then he's falsifying something on a federal document by putting his ID, his driver's license, and saying that this is where he lives according to his driver's license. If I'm not mistaken, that would be an offense. because if you change addresses, you're supposed to change your address on your driver's license. Yeah, that's a big fuck up. That's criminal right there, buddy. I don't think it's a big one. It's probably just like a misdemeanor, but if I'm not mistaken, you're not supposed to. Let's look and see. Why don't we why don't we just take a little gander and see? In Florida, happen if you don't give the correct update, we'll just say update, to your driver's license to the DMV, and it is, and you live somewhere else, and you live somewhere else. All right, what can happen to you? In Florida, failing to update your driver's license with the DMV within 30 days of moving, even if you live elsewhere, violates Florida Statute 32219, which can lead to traffic tickets, fines, potentially a suspended license due to missed court notices. Now, the legal penalties is a violation of law not to update your address within 30 days. Law enforcement can issue a ticket. And if you have moved to a new state, you're generally required to obtain a new license there. Suspended license, missed notices, legal and financial risk, insurance issues. If you're in an accident, your license doesn't match your current address, your insurance company may deny claims and cancel your policy. Trouble with law enforcement, if pulled over, mismatched identification could lead to questioning, fines, or extreme cases being held until your identity is confirmed. Thank you. Double blessing for sure. Well, most definitely. 28 years, widowed, never remarried, been without him for 18. Kudos to you, grandkids taxi. But see, this, like I said, this isn't just a small issue. You could end up getting tickets because of this. Now, his registered a motor vehicle using that address. On September 29th, 2025, plaintiff filed a motion to declare a valid service of process and entry of default and other relief, which was in Doc 115. On October 30th, this court issued an order, Doc 132, which, among other things, denied without prejudice plaintiff's request for service costs under Federal Rule Civil Procedure 4D2, stating that plaintiffs may refile a motion seeking such costs after defendant Pink Chips has been served. On December 29th, plaintiffs effectuated substitute service on defendant Paint Chips pursuant to Florida statutes 48.161 and 48.181 by serving the Florida Department of State Division of Corporations as defendant agent for service of process. Now, on January 22nd, the clerk of court entered a default judgment against Paint Chips for failure to respond to the complaint. Now, when a defendant located within the United States fails without good cause to sign and return a waiver requested by a plaintiff, the court must impose the defendant the expenses later incurred in making service, and B, the reasonable expenses, including attorney's fees of any motion required to collect those service expenses. USCS Federal Rules Civil Procedure Rule 4 explicitly states that good cause does not include a belief that the lawsuit is groundless, or that it has been brought in an improper venue, or that the court has no jurisdiction over this matter or over the defendant or the defendant's property. Now, Paint Chips has not shown good cause for his failure to return the waiver of service. In fact, his actions demonstrate a deliberate attempt to evade service, as evidenced by his refusal of the mailed request and his taunting of plaintiffs on his YouTube about not being served. As a result of defendant Paint Chips' failure to waive service, plaintiffs have incurred the following expenses in attempting to effectuate service. South Florida Legal Services in Naples, $165.54. Naples Private Investigations, LLC, $1,500. Eugene Griffin, G-Man Private Investigation, 610, process server. Accurate serve of Gainesville, $174.50. The total, just a big whopping $2,450.04. Additionally, plaintiffs have incurred attorney's fees in preparing and filing this motion, which if he's charging at, what the bankruptcy attorney is, which I don't think Randy's charging that much, but it just say that he is, at $450 an hour, probably about 3 hours worth of time of doing all of this, plus the other filings, another maybe a total of 5 hours altogether that he's had to spend on this. We're talking about billable hours. We're not talking about time spent. We're just talking about billable hours. So 5 billable hours, 450. Yeah, he could be hitting a few thousand. Pursuant to Local 454.1, plaintiffs will file the required declarations in support of the attorney's fee amount, and the court determines that plaintiffs are entitled to a fee award. Now, there is an argument here. No need to argue it. It said $300 an hour. Okay, so let's see. Let's pull up a little calculator here. We'll get special about it. Say it's 300 an hour times, and we'll just throw something out there and just say 1.5 hours on all the pleadings he had to do. That's $450. $450. Just making a wild guess. Say it took him an hour and a half to file them. Now it takes us longer to read them, but he might have put it all together. He might have it already set up. He didn't have to do a whole lot except for maybe about an hour and a half. But just say he did twice that amount and say it was 3 hours. You're looking at $900 right there on top of the 2,000. So, like I said, a few thousand. Not overly expensive, but it is money. Time is money. Now, the rule specifically provides that if a defendant located in the United States fails without good cause to sign and return a waiver of service requested by the plaintiff, the court must impose on the defendant the expenses later incurred in making service and reasonable expenses, including attorney's fees of any motion required to collect those service expenses. Now, Paint Chips is located in the United States as evidenced by his court filings in the U.S. District Court of the Middle District of Florida, listing his address in Naples, Florida, and his email response to plaintiff's waiver request. Defendant Paint Chips failed to return a signed waiver of services requested by plaintiffs on August 17, 2025. Instead, he explicitly rejected the request and demanded a strict compliance with FRCP Rule 4. Defendant Paint Chips has not shown good cause for his failure to waive service. His email response rejecting the waiver request did not provide any legitimate reason for refusing to waive service, but rather demonstrated a deliberate intent to increase plaintiff's burden and expenses in effectuating service. Fuck around, find out. The process server affidavits and other evidence demonstrated that defendant Paint Chips was actively evading service, which further supports the conclusion that his refusal to waive service was without good cause. Bolitho doesn't understand what? I just saw something come popping up there. Thank you, everyone. This old mama needs to stay strong. It's just hard. What's hard? Oh, I got you. Staying strong. Gotcha. I thought you were talking about getting hard or something. Bolitho doesn't understand you too, so we'll waive the charges and fees. I hope not. I hope not, Robin. I mean, I hope that he looks at this and goes, and especially if once he sees Paint Chips filing, he may just go, oh yeah, it's very obvious this guy is playing a game that I'm not going to deal with. You never know. He might look at it and go, oh, this is really well filed. You never know what the court's going to say or how he's going to respond to it. Paint Chips activated the court's order to October 30th, 132, recognized that plaintiffs may seek service costs under Federal Rules Civil Procedure 4 D2 after defendant Paint Chip has been served. Now, Paint Chip has been served through substitute service as evidenced by the return of substitute service of process filed with this court, and the clerk has entered a default against him. Now, accordingly, plaintiffs are entitled to recover the expenses incurred in making service and the attorney's fees associated with this motion pursuant to Rule 4D of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Now, what can easily happen is the court could say, hey, we're going to have a hearing on this, and we're not going to uphold the default, but we're going to hold a hearing. This is what could happen on this. And this is Randy's argument to basically say, I don't think that's what we should do. Randy's look on this is saying, hey, this is how I think that it should go. Here's the law behind it. This is what we're looking at. And, the judge may look at it and go, yeah, we're not going to play around with this crap anymore, and just say, nope, this is not what we're going to do. Conclusion, paint chips failed to return the waiver of service as requested and has not shown a good cause for this failure. Instead, he is actively evading service, causing plaintiffs to incur additional expenses in attempting to effectuate service and in preparing this motion. Now, under the federal rules of civil procedure, the court must impose on defendant paint chips the expenses incurred in making service and the reasonable expenses, including attorney's fees of this motion. Good faith certification, as is basically they're just saying grant this motion for expenses incurred making service and attorney's fees pursuant to Rule 4D. Order defendant paint chip to pay the plaintiff's reasonable expenses incurred in attempting to effectuate service. Order paint chips to pay plaintiff's reasonable expenses, including attorney's fees incurred in preparing this filing and this motion, and grant other such further relief as this court deems just and proper. And basically just signed off on it, and they sent it out to all the people that are involved in the case. Isn't that amazing? Oh, yeah. But we do have an open letter. You're not going to get that this second. Hell no, you're not going to get that this second. I'm going to revel in this just a little bit. I'm going to revel in this and enjoy that I love having a beautiful open letter. It is a rare opportunity anymore that I've had to be able to write an open letter. But paint chips is deserving of it, I think. Especially after, he was caught making out with, what was it? I don't know. We're not sure either. Could have been it could have been a dude that he was doing it with. Hey, Georgie, how you doing? Shizzles Wiggles, what's up, broski? I am up and about. I'm still here. Good to see you, Georgie. I hope you're doing well. I hope that life is treating you well, as it is me. My life is looking so beautiful, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for a little bit of a break away from everything and the craziness surrounding this place. Just trust me, there's some craziness. I will guarantee you. Let's see if I can pull this one up. And we're going to try to upload a video in there. And I don't know if I'm able to or not. I'll just have to wing it. Maybe. Let's see my uploads. Don't know. Oh, yeah, I got it here. I do have it. I thought it was gone. Oh, buddy, let's go ahead and do this thing because this is going to be glorious. This is going to be great. And it is time to bring it up. Let's do this. We do this like this.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzywhiznut.
Open Letter to Paint Chips versus the Mailman, Episode 9. Oh, Paint Chip, you absolute masterpiece of a man-child with a mouthful of paint flakes rattling around in that noggin like loose marbles in a dryer. You squat behind your ficus fortress, thumbing through your Gmail like it's the Dead Sea Scrolls, muttering strict compliance over and over as if it's going to summon a genie from a discount dollar store lamp. That's dipshittery oozing from this filing, buddy. Not Einstein-level brilliance, not even I once read a law book upside down energy. Nah, it's straight-up Scooby-Doo villain unmasking himself mid-monologue, tripping over his own cape while yelling, "And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those meddlesome process servers." You got the email, you hit reply faster than a toddler spotting an unattended cookie jar, and then you typed out that gem. Your purported notice is rejected in toto for all purposes. Legal, media, entertainment, and other. Bronzed, heck, what that sentence deserves is its own wing in the Hall of Fame for dudes who stitched on themselves in one epic run, bro. You didn't claim wrong inbox, bro, or bad Wi-Fi, never saw it. Nope. You basically screamed, "I got it. I read it. And I'm so eating it back like a hot garbage on purpose." Well, congratulations, champs. You just Mario Karted your fat ass into a Rule 424D sanctions. Rainbow roading straight into banana peel pile up. Meanwhile, out in the real world, you know, the one where licensed process servers and attorneys are trained for the Evade the Paint Chip Olympics. Well, they're out there pounding the pavement in Naples like it's a brand remake of The Fugitive. Priority mailed envelopes bouncing back, return to sender. Harder than a boomerang on steroids. Affidavits piling up thicker than your YouTube comment section ego. And what do? You go online and taunt the universe. You'll never serve me. Oh, well, you're not hiding a bunker. You're not going full ghost mode. Oh, no. You're just like that little bitch strutting around like a trash panda king on top of his little dumpster throne, hollering, "It's me if you can." While live streaming your GPS coordinates, hell, they drop papers on your stepmom, bless her for putting up with your fat ass. Your car's registered there like it's your official, "It's my hideout headquarters, it's my bat prison." 11 attempts documented like a bad spy novel, avoidance noted, public rant screenshotted, and you didn't turn into mist or ascend into the ethereal plane. You didn't even pull a decent invisibility cloak. You just became a walking, talking, fat fucking receipt. Signed, deleted, sealed, and delivered right back to your own dumb doorstop. Well, now I'm sure that the court's eyeballing these sworn declarations that basically scream, "This grown-ass bitch is playing hide and seek like a preschooler who thinks his burying his head in a sandbox makes him vanish." No, well, which brings us to the cha-ching symphony on top to top it off like sprinkles on Stupidity Sunday. $2,450 and 4 measly cents is the exact cost of pretending you're the world's most elusive snowflake who demands a summons delivered via Unicorn Express with a side of rainbow glitter. And because you couldn't just sign the waiver like a functioning adult, or at least one who doesn't chew crayons for breakfast, you're also footing the bill for the motion to collect the fees you racked up by refusing the freebie. Well, dumbass, you lit your own pants on fire, danced around yelling, "Look at me, I'm so hot pants," and then invoiced yourself the burn cream. Classic paint chip move, turning a $0 email into a 4-figure fiasco. You begged for strict compliance with Rule 4, and boy, did you get it. Just not the fairy tale version where you win, more like the substitute service was perfected, default entered, judge sharpening up his gavel, little remix. Oh, and my favorite genre, consequences with a side of butt sex. Well, let's circle that line you must have skimmed while munching on rubber-based snacks. Good cause does not include I think that's lawsuit bogus, Sonyanya. Even if this case smells like week old tuna, even if the court's wrong, even if the cosmos owes you a cosmic hug, you still sign it, you still accept, you show up like a big boy. Refusing, well, that's not rebellion, that's not heroism. That's just you buying a one-way ticket to Stupidville. Population, all the anti-Hales. Hey, Chip, you didn't outsmart anything, and you didn't 4D chess anyone. You didn't uncover some vast procedural plot cooked up by the Illuminati's intern. Well, you turned a freebie into a fat invoice and default judgment faster than you can lick Bubba clean, which I bet you're good at. That's not a strategy. That's avant-garde body paint, the kind where the artist ends up naked and bewildered. So here we sit, services slapped out, default doodled in, cost tallied like a day without your cheesy poofs. Guess now the judge decides how hard to spank that wallet of yours. You didn't service paint chip, you special ordered it, express with extra fees and a cherry of chaos on top. Signed, Shizzywhiznut, professional short bus scholar, Velcro shoed virtuoso, and full-time spectator of your stupidity. And most definitely your daddy. Batch. Oh, I love this place. And if it could get any better, I swear I would be having too much fun.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzywhiznut.
Oh, yeah. I'm still getting used to doing the transitions right on this thing. It seems to work some of the time, but not all the time. Holy cow. I hope you guys are still here. You like that one? Hey, Heather May. Nice Shizzy. You have to get up early. Will you get some rest, Missy Nilster? Will there will be a subpoena warrants to search property. Federal marshals would enact BK is a federal case. I don't know what you're talking about. Did you listen to the whole thing? Crazy. Hold on. Hold. Hold on. I'm answering someone. I'll have to explain to them a little bit here in a little bit. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's awesome. There we go. I love it whenever people are like texting me right in the middle of the stream. Kisses. I love it. Watch the way the justice system works, or doesn't, should be a good lesson for everyone to see how jacked up it's become. I don't believe the founders intended for it to become this mess. No, but that's going to happen. Letter time, yeah. The letter was good tonight. Look, it's the Blue Wrench group. Hey, how you doing, Venom? Good to see you. Good evening, everybody. Replay crew. Hey, everybody. Ben here lurking and listening. Jenny, good to see you. 8675309. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's see what we got going on here. Time for bed. Good night, all. Well, you get some rest, Grandma Stacks. You get some rest. I'm going to be doing the same here shortly. I'm going to be doing. Can I text you in the middle of a stream? No, but this is somebody that had some questions about something that I was talking about earlier tonight. So they're fine. And they're actually going to be sleeping, so I can't really be giving them such a hard time. I do have to try to pay a little bit of attention to them every so often. Okay. So as I was telling you guys earlier, we were going over a little bit of the Laura Owens documents, and I made a phone call to Lauren because I was curious what in the hell was going on with all of this. I was like, because they had Hey Rob, go check out his channel, give him some subs, most definitely. So I was checking. All you have to do is do a search for Hey Rob. You can probably pull up his channel. He's been covering Laura Owens, and also there's a lot of other stuff going on there. One, that he is handicapped, so he has to set, where it's a little more handicap accessible. Now, the interesting part about all of this is he's been covering some of it, and I went through after I was, because I was on stream while I was doing this, I pulled up a transcript just off of one of the claims. She said this one right here, he was talking about grape and all this kind of stuff. I pulled up the transcripts on that. I didn't find anything of him mentioning grape. Matter of fact, sex, I think, was only mentioned once in there. Now, there might have been other things mentioned, or chat might have been saying something, but I couldn't find anything in there where he was doing anything. Yeah, she's suing Rob now. Well, no, she's just trying to get a restraining order on him so he can't talk about the case. Now, from what I understand, and this is just my outlook on it, is that what's going to happen is this will be in front of a judge. I do believe that he has retained counsel. I'm not positive on that, but I think that he's retained counsel, which is a smart move. And he's going to go in front of a judge and present what his case is. I was listening a little bit to what Megan was saying tonight, and she believes that there will be, he's accepted. Whatever the judge says, he'll do whatever the judge says. He's got no objection to that. But it just goes to show the kind of shitty people that you're dealing with. And I mean, if you read that document, and I'll probably go over it at some point in time. Maybe I'll reach out to Megan and go over it with her or something. That would be, I think, pretty good. I'd be willing to do that, spend a little bit of time going over the document with her, because I'm telling you, the kind of shit that she's throwing into that document looks no different than the kind of shit that Lynette, no different than Felisa, no different than Lips. I mean, it is almost like verbatim, word for word, the same kind of garbage that we've seen people say before, where it's just a bunch of bloated garbage. I went through that transcript and I started pulling up her exact verbiage. None of that was in there. I don't think that she actually read went through that at all. I don't think she watched any of those videos. I think this was some fucked up shit in her little mind that got her set off thinking that she is a shitty person, and looking at it and going, well, this person's calling me out on my shitty behavior and nobody should be able to catch my shitty behavior. I think she's just feeling a little bit of guilt. My opinion. Lauren and Lips are very similar padded rooms. Yeah, they could be. They could easily be in the same padded room. I think Lauren is a little bit younger than Lips. Laura, whatever. I think she's a little younger than Lips, so she's still learning the ropes of how to be a shitty person, and that her mother even allows that kind of behavior, or believes that her daughter, whenever she's lying about being pregnant multiple times from multiple different guys, multiple twins. I mean, come on. At some point you have to say, really? Can you just not find a good man? Oh, maybe because you're batshit crazy. Go get a Greek guy. I mean, they tell you the way to separate Greek men from, Greek men from Greek boys is just a crowbar, right? Uh, sorry, typo. Lauren is the bomb. Yeah, Lauren Needy is awesome. But yeah, the amount of crazy shit in that filing, and like I said, there's 10 pages of single spaced like garbage. Yeah, J Hip is the man. Yeah, he is. Good people, man. I'll like I said, there's a lot in that document, and I started reading through it, and I was just like, whoa, wait a second. If this stuff is true, I don't need to be reading this stuff online. And what I did is I pulled the document back down, and I pulled up the actual transcript live with you guys last night. If you were watching last night, you would have saw me pull it up live towards the end of the stream. So if you're not wanting to watch the whole stream, you can go to the end of it. And I will tell you, I pulled it up and pulled up all the transcript from it, put it into Word document, and typed in search words, and I couldn't find anything of what she was saying. Let's not attack nationalities. I know some very great Greeks and Italian and Sicilians and Polish, some Germans and Irish. I do too. I'm saying in Greece, the way they separate the men and the boys is with a crowbar. I'm not saying it's not all Greek men are like that. I'm just saying that. Go find some Danish men. I heard have a lot of frozen semen. That's probably true. Well, they just put the cream cheese on your bagel, right? Was only given 10 days to respond. Oh, is this you, Rob? I'm curious. Rob, is this your channel? Are you Rob from Hey Rob? Just hit a thumbs up in the chat if that is you. And if it is, I can reach out to you, and we'll sit down and have a little conversation. So 1901. I love it. Oh man, I'm just waiting to see if there's a response there. Oh man, crazy if it is, because I'm on the opinion that kind of the going looking through those. No, you're not Rob. Okay. That's good. That's good. I don't want to get in trouble with some other YouTuber and like talking shit about him. I've never watched the guy's stuff, but I'm interested in seeing it now, because I'm just like, well, what was he saying? So I'm going to have to, now I have my work cut out for me, because I'm going to have to go back, and because she actually says the streams that she was watching. We might do that whenever I get back to a Rob watch stream. Maybe I'll reach out to Rob and give him an invite. No, I know. I got you. Yeah, Rob Tander, is that right? 7. I think that's right. I think that's the right one. But yeah, that's like I said, it's absolutely crazy, and you can pull up those documents yourself. They're out there, and you can look at it and see that he from what I saw, just off of one rant, I just picked one out of the list and said, okay, here's this one. What date was it? And you can do a search on it. You can pull up the actual one that he's talking about. That's the one that she's titled. I pulled it up, and I swear to God, there was nothing in there of that nature. Nothing whatsoever. What it talked about was just basically like saying, yeah, I mean, she could easily go to jail. She could easily be looking at doing some time over this stuff. And you hear about that crazy woman here in Tennessee who was arrested for attempting to cut off her husband's sausage, but missed. And the charges they hit her with, I hope so. I hope so. Ouch. That is ouch. Damn, Cajun Joe. Lauren also had Rob on going over this with him and Omar. The Tilted Lawyer was on for a bit. Yeah, the Court of Random Opinion. Yeah, that was something I haven't had a chance to go back and watch. I'll probably go and watch that while I'm while I'm out of town. By the way, everybody, I will be off. I will be off the YouTubes for a period of time. Do you need Hey Rob's link? No, they've already posted it up there, I'm pretty sure. And most definitely, you know, go check him out. Go pull up his what he was saying. You may not appreciate or may not like his stuff, but you know, if she's saying that this guy is saying something horrible thing, then go and verify it yourself. Don't take her word for it because, well, we've seen that she freaking lies. No different than Lips has lied multiple times. And we can sit there and go, okay, so if this happened, if the, you know, here's the thing. Everybody has been going off on Jeremy. Oh, well, you know, he did X, Y, or Z to Lips. Where's the video proof of this? Well, that's right. There is none. Where's the location? What's the date? Oh, those are all sketchy, but it happened. It totally happened. Look, here's an address of some place in Florida. It's a storage place. You can look it up yourself. It's a storage place. But was he ever there? Was he even in Florida at the time that was sent? Was he actually at that location? Did she actually meet with him? Did she talk with him? Do you have any verifiable proof? You would think that if you're meeting, you know, the big bad Jeremy Hales, that you would, you know, take a picture while you're there, showing, yeah, this is who I'm getting ready to go meet. So if something bad happens to me, I want everybody to know. None of that. No. It's all speculation on everybody else's part. And they're trying to, you got these people out there claiming that Jeremy did something that they have no proof for. They've never provided any proof of this whatsoever. And it seems like her husband's absolutely fine with this too. It's like, yes, honey, go. My client, my wife, why don't you go meet Jeremy Hales? She's saying that this is how it was all planned out, that they were trying to set him up. So which is it? You were trying to set him up or you were coerced into going somewhere? See, the story doesn't match up with anything. And then when you really start digging into the truth of it, you start going, well, none of this can be fucking true. So what you're saying has to be a lie, which means that you're just a lying piece of shit. So I can't really believe anything that's coming out of those fat fucking lips of yours because it all seems to be a fucking lie. Which just totally destroys all of her narrative, the fleas. And you know that the fleas are lying on a regular basis because it's verifiably proven that they did not do what they intended to do. See, I had a little boy get upset at me because, well, you're not placing the Martin house in the right place. And I thought this was going to be X, Y, or Z. Well, your thoughts and your impressions of what it was going to be is completely different than the reality of what it is. So you might want to grow up, son. Until it's overwhelmingly proven it's a lie. Assume everything Lips, Laura Owens, or Flea says is a lie until proven otherwise. Well spoken. Miss Jessie needs to seclude you and maybe from remodeling while all the nut shack's on reply. That's true. That's true. Even the it's alive. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is so very, it's just so bad. But that is all I've got for you guys tonight. Just another crazy night in the nut house. We're all just reading through these documents, speculating on what all is going to be what and where it's going. We have no idea. I mean, like I said, this is all interesting, and tomorrow is a new day. We'll see what kind of documents get filed over the next few days. I'm sure that they know that time is running out on certain pleadings that they have to make, certain responses. And at some point, Judge Belito is going to say, "All right, we're ready for trial. Yes, you've been served. You've been served. You owe money. Yeah, deuces sanctions are going to come about." I think it was sort of, and I look at it and I think it was Deuce was probably like, man, I really need to get this thing delayed until I can get the fuck out of town. Cause shit, how can I get it delayed? Because Fed 1 and Fed 2 is really gonna fuck me and I really screwed up. Maybe I should get what can I do to delay shit? I don't know. That's the impression that it gives. Bruce with his fingers in that honey pot, or should we say the chicken skin bucket? When it's said and done, there's shit up shit creek without a paddle. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I am no predictor of the future. You've yet to see them even get to discovery. It's been over a year. Usually lawsuits of this kind go in a short period of time. They don't take this long. But the scope of people doing stupid shit is just feeding it all in. It's crazy. I can't even begin to laugh as hard as I have seen all this. God bless your time away with your wife. Celebrate well, cherish the time. There's another 18 years together. Leave the stress far behind. I'll be here Sunday. Yeah, I will be back on Sunday. I don't know if I'll be streaming Sunday, but I will be back on Sunday. I will attempt to do a stream. Let's put it that way. It just depends on how sore my ass is from the drive. Yes, I will be driving, and no, there will not be any pegging going on. I don't roll like chips at all. That's not how I go. Just say, oh, maybe not. Money for the vacation. It will be used for the vacation, and I will raise a toast to you, maybe not. Thank you very much. That is awesome. That is heartwarming, and I will let you know exactly what we toasted on, because that's very nice of you, and thank you very much. And it will be a nice vacation. And so I'm going to leave you guys with just a nice little easy outro. Not the normal outro, just something a little more, I don't know, a little more shizzy like. What can we do here? What can we do that would just make it more shizzy? Like, well, there's all kinds of things that we can do. But I think the best one that we can possibly find is do the one that just gives me so much joy to play. It's this right here. Oh, happy anniversary. Oh, another one. You guys are too kind. Oh, pickled tink. Thank you very much. Happy new anniversary. Thank you very much. And like I said, all of this will be used to celebrate with my wife. That is one thing that I will enjoy doing, is celebrating with my wife and enjoying, raising a toast, thanking YouTube and chats for being so kind and generous with your time and your patience, because man, I can be really difficult sometimes. So it is awesome that you guys can come in and support this horrible attempt at doing something that, looks normal, but I don't know if it is. I just enjoy doing this. It makes for great fun. And let's see, we got a nice little video we'll do here for you guys that should make it enjoyable. I'm just looking for it because I like giving you guys a little bit of something. And where is it? It is right here, just for you guys. Here we go. I'll see you guys very soon.
Step aside, y'all, it's my time to shine. I'm feeling the groove with these hips of mine. Hands in the air like spaghetti gone rogue. My knees are jelly and my hips just broke. Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. My shoulders pop like a rusty hinge. My fingers point like they're on a binge. Twirl like a tornado, then drop real low. It's not planned, it's a shit sideshow. I've got the rhythm of a clock that's broke. My dance floor moves are a big effing joke. Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. Rig like a lava lamp, mesmerizing glow. You can't help but watch me steal the show. I summon the shake, the shimmy, the twist, a mix of genius and a big old fist. You're drawn in close, your feet start to twitch, feeling the groove like a broke-ass bitch. Yeah! Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. Now we're all in the shake, no need to be shy. Move like spaghetti and reach for the sky. We'll dance like we're cursed, laugh to a soar. Shizzywhiznut reigns forevermore. So join the dance, let your weirdness unfurl. We're shaking ass, not a care in the